Hi, everyone. I'm Alicia Dickerson. Welcome to our session about IT in the public sector. In this session, we will learn how Smartsheet can support your agency's digital transformation. If you have any questions, we have some Smartsheet team members standing by to help answer those questions in the chat window throughout the session. There's a lot of information on this slide, and I will summarize it to say, this session contains forward-looking statements, and trademarks in the presentation are not endorsements. A little bit about myself. I'm Alicia Dickerson, and I'm a customer success manager here at Smartsheet. I work primarily with government accounts on our strategic accounts team. Fun fact about me is that today marks my 1-year anniversary with Smartsheet. This has been a year where I don't have to tell you, where IT initiatives generally, as well as those supporting remote work and COVID-19 responses, have been stress tested like never before. As such, I'm thrilled to introduce today's session about IT in the public sector. A strong IT department, as we know, is often the unsung hero of any organization. We're lucky today to be joined by Roy Varghese, CIO of NOAA Fisheries. Throughout Roy's career, he's worked to implement policies that would increase the pace of IT modernization, and he'll share more about that today.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you for those kind words and that introduction. I'm looking forward to speaking with you and your audience and joining this Smartsheet Engage conference. Let me tell you a little bit about NOAA and what we are about. You may be familiar with NOAA because NOAA Weather Service provides weather service that we're all very used to, weather information that we're very used to, especially in the fall season when hurricanes are going around. We do a lot more than hurricane tracking and weather tracking. We understand and predict the changes to Earth's climate. And using that information, we actually inform and share that knowledge so that those of us can change and make adjustments to our life as needed. It might be as simple as avoiding the storms in a way. I specifically live in the NOAA fisheries side of the house. Our job is to be responsible for the stewardship of the nation's ocean resources and the habitat. What does that mean, right? We, 4,000 of us, scattered in about 50 locations before COVID. Now we're in 4,000 different locations. We are focused on providing services that ensure that the sustainability of the resources that you enjoy, from the tuna that you eat in your sushi, or the fish sticks, are there for the long haul. We also are the ones that do important research and management to ensure that the marine mammals that you enjoy are still around for generations to come. The recovery and conservation aspect of what we do is a big part of who we are. And we do all this based on sound science and an ecosystem-based approach to resource management. When COVID hit, Forbes tells us that about 33% of the people were used to teleworking. And NOAA Fisheries and NOAA as a whole was like that. And most organizations have accomplished maybe about 88%. I think Forbes' number is 88% of the people teleworking. But due to mandatory telework requirements that the federal government instituted, all of us, 100% of us, had to virtually transition to telework. We were prepared for this rapid transition to remote work because of our embracing of cloud technologies like Smartsheet prior to this. The digital transformation journey has to take into account a very mobile workforce, and COVID-19 is a perfect example or a perfect reason why we needed to be ready. In 2018, when we looked at our project management group, we recognized that our project management office was overworked, was understaffed. Our customers were having a tough time understanding where they stood, when we could onboard them. A classic case, I'm sure most of you cannot relate, right? We all have plenty of time. We unfortunately at that time were struggling to keep pace with the demands. So we engaged with M2 strategies and Smartsheet to bring to our organization an agile approach to project management, an approach with not just looking at the processes, but also the tools and the people involved to ensure that we are ready for a mobile workforce. We are ready to be able to manage projects in an efficient and agile way. And by 2020, when COVID hit, we were prepared. So let me give you a couple of examples of how that translates to the work on the ground. On the screen there, you will see a dashboard on the left there. And that single dashboard, the single pane of glass, is what I spend most of my time looking at when I want to understand what's going on in the project. Because it provides me information, everything from whether there are risks associated with the projects, whether the latest status update, how we're doing in terms of costs, how we're doing in terms of schedule, budget, all of that, resource allocation, all that in a single pane of glass, right? And what that does is that it streamlines project management. It, to some extent, takes the mystique out of project management because the information is available. We didn't just put this as a paper exercise or a vaporware exercise. We put it into practice. There's a couple of projects on the screen that are in production now, thanks to using this framework and this platform. And what that enabled the project team to do is deliver the project on time with a significant level of collaboration across project teams. At the end of the day, the results matter. New tools come and go. But as a CIO, I'm responsible for delivering value, delivering results. And just mobile enabling or cloud enabling is not enough. I told you what my challenges were in 2018 when we were having a tough time in integrating and accepting inbound requests for projects. We are able to support 40% more projects with actually a decreased staff level due to this approach. So talking about efficiency, these are real efficiencies. We're also able to provide 100% project visibility to everybody. I like to say we've democratized project management. We took the mystique out of project management in such a way that we trained 100% of our staff. Not just PMs, not just business analysts, not just software developers who may be involved in it, but also people like me, the CIO, the deputy CIO, the admin assistant, the service desk person, all were trained on how the project management process is used to deliver value, deliver results, deliver products and services that our mission depends on. At the end of the day, we're about stewardship of NOAA's nation's resources. And for that, everybody needs to know how we can do our jobs better. And that's why we implemented this 100% training. And that yielded amazing results. And let me tell you a little bit more, a few more results. The first and foremost is something that was a pet peeve of mine. Like most of you, I spend a lot of time in meetings, really too much. I don't sign up for meetings just for the sake of kill time, and I'm sure neither do you. We were able to significantly shorten the amount of time it took to do project reviews. Before, we used to take 30 minutes to do a project review. Now, with that 30 minutes, I do 4 project reviews because the dashboard has all the update. If I have questions, I can click through and get the details. right? And that enabled me a different level of engagement, not just with my project team, but also my end user community. And not just my end user community, it's also the supporting team. And that makes, to some extent, this project management becomes a concept not just in the domain of IT, but it becomes an approach, a philosophy, and a practice that can be adopted by everybody. I'll give you a quick example. Project management, this framework is not just used by IT now. We started it, but our other functions in our organizations, like our communications, like our administrative office, is using the same tools and templates. The science and technology will be using the same tools and templates and process to do projects. Because if you think about it, we all do projects, and we all want to do projects efficiently, effectively, in a way that yields results. And when we do that, we transform an organization. But transforming an organization is great. But let me tell you about Rose James. Rose is my executive assistant. I've known her for 10 years. She's not a software developer. She's a brilliant person. And I adore the work that she does for us. When COVID started, we're not working together anymore. She's not sitting outside my office. We're working in two different places. She, on her own, decided, hey, let me look into the Smartsheet and let me learn about it and see how I can do my job better. Over a weekend, she learned and certified herself on Smartsheet. Next week, she comes and she talks to me and says, guess what? This Smartsheet could really make our job easier, how we collaborate a whole lot easier. Gone are the days when I had to sign papers, right? We're signing stuff electronically now. We have to manage a lot of workflow issues, such as acquisitions, HR actions, onboarding of new employees, and so forth. Rose, who's not a software developer, decided to build automated workflows that streamlined the process, integrated other folks from our office into the process in such a way that all of our jobs became easier. And she did this all with a weekend's worth of training. If that isn't technology and enablement and transformation, I don't know what is. I'm super proud of Rose, and I am grateful for her and for showing me how these kind of tools and technology can not only transform organizations, but it could also transform the potentials of people who embrace it. Thank you, Alicia.
Roy, thank you so much. Your insights, sharing your experience. I have so many takeaways, and I'm sure all those listening have a number as well, but I'll call out a few that really struck me. Number one is be like Rose. That is a perfect example of how Smartsheet how anyone can work with Smartsheet without any particular specialities or certifications or technology sort of experience. How with some investment up front, a little bit of time, how any of us can use Smartsheet to really transform the way that we do work, saving ourselves time, increasing transparency, collaboration, and on and on. That's just a wonderful story, and I think a great exemplar to hold up for everyone. The other thing that you said that really struck me was you mentioned that Smartsheet helps effectuate the democratization of project management. I really love that. Again, calling back to anyone in any sort of sector, or any sort of team can learn about Smartsheet, utilize Smartsheet in a way to make their work better, ultimately their lives better. And then again, the last thing that really kind of jumps out at me is this idea that's been rolling around the federal government for years of doing more with less. And we all understand, most of us say under our breath, that's actually physically impossible. But Smartsheet is really a tool that allows us to do so much more beyond just what one person can typically do. And so I invite everyone to sort of start that Smartsheet journey to learn more about the impact of Smartsheet with IT departments, as well as within your own department, whatever that might be. Please check out the resources listed on this slide. You'll see everything from how to get started with Smartsheet, how to share the Smartsheet story and the value and benefit of it, the Smartsheet communities that exist, and as well as how to contact and reach out to resources such as myself. So again, we're pleased you joined us and hope you'll stick around for the remainder of today's public sector sessions. Thank you so much.